Hey everyone, Charlene here. Today we are going to make two very cute cards using the new Buon Appetito collection from Spellbinders. And I'm going to share with you two super easy layouts that always work for me that you can use in your card making. I'm going to start here by die cutting out all of the pasta friends. I have some beeswax cardstock that I'm going to use to cut the top layers of pasta from. And then I have saffron cardstock that's slightly darker, and I'm going to use that to cut the base pasta layers from. I'll cut the chef hat from white cardstock. The mushroom I'm going to cut from both fawn and acorn cardstock. I have some rainforest for the olive, and then I'll cut that out in fern as well. I'm also going to cut my piece of basil from that same fern cardstock. And then I have some blush cardstock here that I'm going to cut out all of the little backing pieces that make the cheeks and mouths for the pasta. The arms and legs and bow tie I'll cut from raven cardstock. And lastly, for the fork and the little dinner platter server, I have some silver metallic cardstock. I finished cutting everything out, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you a few of the tools that I keep on hand to make my life easier when I'm cutting out small die cut characters. First, I have this flower palette tray that I use to organize all of my different pieces as I cut them out. So I have all our little pasta friends, the accessories, arms and legs, and then I have this really fun tray that I actually recently got, which makes putting my scraps somewhere really easy because this has a lip on the edge that slides right underneath the edge of my glass mat, so I can just sweep away any extra scraps that I have as I'm die cutting. My pokey tool is one I use all the time. I use it to poke out the little pieces like the eyes or cheek spots that are stuck within the die. And then I have two different tools that I use to get rid of any little stray paper hairs that are on my pieces. So what I do is when I'm ready to put together a character, I'll grab all of the pieces. For the larger pieces, I will use this small sanding block and I'll go around all of the edges to sand away any of those tiny little paper hairs, and they will fall off, and then I can just sweep them away with my hand. Then if you're working with a smaller die cut like this, I use this glass emery board that has a pointed tip on the end, and it makes it really easy to get down into any of those small little spaces, run it around the edges, and it ensures I don't have those little paper hairs on there. I'm going to start putting together our spaghetti, so I'll hold on to the little swirly spaghetti bit here with a pair of reverse tweezers, and then I'll come in and add glue all the way along the back. When I'm working with a detailed piece like this, I like to tap it off onto a piece of tissue before I put it on top of the base die cut piece, because then I ensure I don't get any glue squishing out along the edges. I originally cut my little cheek pieces for my characters out of blush cardstock. I decided it wasn't bright enough, so I'm coming back in and cutting those pieces from tutu. I have my cheek pieces cut from some tutu. I'm going to add a small amount of glue near the cheeks on the back of the character. Then I can lay the piece right over the back, and then you'll see those cute little pink cheeks peeking through. For the ravioli, I will add my cheeks first because the lighter yellow is where the cheeks are shown through, and that's going to get put on the main back piece of the ravioli. Once I have the cheeks added, I'll just add some glue along the back of the cheek piece, and I will pop this right in the center of the main ravioli. For my farfalle, it's just one layer, so I cut him out of the darker yellow, the saffron, and I'll add my cheeks and mouth again. So here's our cute finished little farfalle. I've added the cheeks back behind the rigatoni, and then there's this smaller detail circle piece. I'm adding some glue along the back of it. I'll tap it off on my tissue, and then this will go right over the embossed detail at the top of the rigatoni, which helps to make it look 3D. Lastly, I added the cheeks behind the macaroni. I'm going to leave the arms and feet off of them for now because I want to arrange my card first. I am going to go ahead and put together the olive and the mushroom. For the olive, I'm going to put some glue on the back of the lighter rainforest layer, and then I'll layer that directly over the top of the fern layer. For the mushroom, I'll add some glue to the lighter fawn layer on the back, then layer it over the larger piece which was cut from the acorn. Now I have this cute little olive and mushroom. I'm going to show you now one of these super easy layouts. For this, I'm using the notched corner frames, but you also could just use a piece of cut white cardstock for this. This will give us a border when we're finished because it's slightly smaller than an A2 size piece. I used the second from largest die to cut this out. So here's the layout. When we lay out our pieces, we're going to create a grid of our 4 little pasta friends, then run our sentiment along the bottom. I'm going to use the Stay Saucy, my friend sentiment from the Stay Saucy stamps because it is adorable. I have my 4 pasta friends sort of laid out in that square formation, and now before I start placing them onto my background piece, I can go ahead and put together everybody with their added arms and legs. I'll just add some glue in the different spots. I wanted to show you on the arms and legs, there's this nice little circle piece that you can dab the glue on and then stick it to the back. So I have my little guys all put together. I'm going to place the background here in my Misty, and I'm keeping my guys on there while I figure out the placement of my sentiment. I want it to run along the bottom, but not all the way at the bottom. So I'm doing it just above where that notch is. I'm bringing in some black pigment ink. I'll go ahead and ink up my stamp, flip and press and lift, and that looks great. Now I can add some glue to the back of the finished white piece, and I'll glue this to the center of an A2 sized panel of poppy cardstock. For some added dimension, I'll flip over all of our cute little pasta friends and add some foam squares. Now I can remove the release tape from the squares and pop everything in place. I'll add some glue here to the back of our finished panel and adhere it to an A2 sized card base. So here is our finished first card with those super cute pasta friends. I just think they are absolutely adorable. And we used our easy peasy 4-square grid with a sentiment along the bottom. This is a great way to use your small die cuts. For my second card, I'm going to use the Ingredients Buddies, which creates 4 different ingredients: a meatball, cheese, a garlic clove, as well as a tomato. So I'll start by grabbing my cardstock. For my garlic, I'm going to cut it from white and from alabaster. For my tomato, I have some poppy and then some fern cardstock for the stem. For my cheese, the front I'll use beeswax and then the main base layer saffron. For my meatball, I'm going to use acorn, and then I'll use a slightly darker red, which is pomegranate, for the little Saucy hat. For the arms and legs, I'll do those in black again. And for the cheeks and mouths, I'll use tutu. I'll add glue to the back of the sauce hat here and layer it right over the top of the meatball head. I'll add the cheeks and mouth in the same way I did on the first set, just by adding a little bit of glue along the back and then laying the piece right over the back so that way it shows through. So here's our cute little meatball. For the cheese, I'll add glue to the back of the smaller face piece. Before I layer it, I am going to add the cheeks and the mouth. Then I can place the whole piece to the left-hand side and create this cute little piece of cheese. For the garlic, I'll start by adding the cheeks and mouth. If you have any excess that hangs over, you can trim it away with a pair of scissors. And I'll add glue to the back of that entire piece and put it in the center of the larger white die cut. Here's our cute little garlic clove. I'll first add the cheeks behind our cute little tomato, and then I'll add the stem on here. You can see the embossed detail there. I just need to add some glue and pop the stem over the top. Here's our cute little tomato. For our background, I'll again use the second from largest notch corner frame to cut some white cardstock. This is going to go in the center of an A2 sized panel of Cosmic Sky. Now the layout that we're going to do for this second card is we'll take all of our die cuts and we're going to put them right across the center of the card. Because our garlic is white and we have a white background, he's getting a little lost. So I'm just going to use the tomato, cheese, and meatball on this card. For this one, I'm going to use the With You Life's Never Plain Pasta as my sentiment, and it's going to go right along the bottom just above the notch, just like we did on the first card. Now I can add my feet and arms to our little guys. I cut out several different sets, and this time, because they're all in a row, I'm going to use the same style of feet and arms on each of the ingredients. To keep things looking very cohesive and to have everything balanced, I'm actually changing the length of the legs on each of the ingredients so that the finished ingredient is about the same height. So I have all of their little hands and legs on them. Now I can come in and stamp my sentiment. I'll ink up my stamp here with some black pigment ink and then flip and press and lift. That looks great. And now we can put our card together. So I'll add glue to the back of our notched panel, and I will center this on that piece of A2 Cosmic Sky cardstock. Add some foam squares to the back of our little guys. Remove the release tape and then pop these along the center of the card. I'll add some glue here to the back of the completed panel and adhere it to an A2 sized card base. Here is our finished second card with the super cute ingredient buddies. Look how sweet they all are. I love that little meatball. This would look really cute with some glossy accents over his sauce hat. And then just to show you again our Pasta Friends card that we first made. So here you have two really super easy layouts with a sentiment stamped along the bottom. You can do 4 die cut pieces in a square, or you could do 3 or 4 going in a line right across the center on the horizontal. I hope that you picked up some tips and tricks today. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell so that I can continue to bring you more crafty content in the future. Until next time, happy crafting.